happy Monday already. How do you like that? Well, it has been just a very crazy week. We ended up staying, as you know, some extra days at my parents' house and extra days yet. And just finally got back to Nashville and have been putting together the rest of the Sailing Dreams games. The game and CD is officially out and being sent in the mail as we speak. Brian is actually at the post office now delivering some of the packages. So we've been working getting those out, and we were thinking, well, what can we do that would be just kind of fun and that'd be creative. You know, I just haven't written enough music lately. Just busy putting together all the parts of the game. So I thought that we would just have another drawing, and I'll write a song for you, for whoever we draw, everybody who's bought the Sailing Dreams, either the game or the CD. We'll put them into a drawing, and then whoever we pick, I'll write a song for you, or for your significant other if you want. And you know, it's been a cool process of doing that. Because I remember I've written songs for several friends. When I was writing a song for Tom, I wanted to, so he's just a good friend, and so I wanted to write a song about friendship. And ended up on the sailing album too, because when you're sailing, you end up making a lot of friends when you're in one harbor or the other. So I was thinking about, you know, how do I, you know, give that kind of feel, and there were two songs that I'd written that had a similar feel to what I was looking for: the Velzo's Garden and Dandelions, those two. So I wanted something with something like that kind of a feel. And this is just kind of a position that I've come to like, just a big old major chord, and this is just standard tuning. So that's just a straight A chord to a D9. So I use that kind of as an intro, and then working into an A, then staying very major, staying on all those kind of nice, pretty chords. And I'm just kind of hanging on that chord, doing whatever I want to on it. I'll just throw in a harmonic. And then I'm a little diminished chord getting into it. And we've got a D, going up to a D another. Make it resolve. So real major, real appreciative, happy. Very predictable in that it's repeating, coming back up. And this time I'll just play the same notes, but in a different way, just giving it a little slide down. Now it's time to go to the 4 chord and kind of wander down. And then I'm building right down. At this point, I tried a whole bunch of different things, and we're going to different keys, and then ended up just going back to an A and hanging there. Yeah, I kind of like that, just simple but meaningful. And here's where that's the one spot where I want the harp guitar, right? Because I wanted a D, which I didn't have, a low D. So worth having the harp guitar just for that one note on there. And then after that, I tried doing a whole bunch of different variations. I tried changing keys. I tried developing and with some, you know, a little bit more dissonant stuff, and it just didn't have the same pureness as that first part. And so I ended up going back to the drawing board, and then so I thought, well, what happens if I adjust 2 chords and then let my friend Phil Keggy improvise on it? He certainly could find the magic in there, and that's what I did. That's what ended up on the album. I'll play for you a little bit of it together with some video that Brian added to it. I see some comments coming in, and hi, David Bunny's here again, and Gail. And David, and David says, "What point is counterpoint?" Right? There's some subtle counterpoint happening in there. That little moving voice in the middle, da, 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 right in there. So we are making that point in our counterpoint. And greetings. Let me put on my glasses here so I can see you a little better in this light. We are in my dining room. If you think your house is messy, boy, our house after making all those games, or in the process of making all the games, is just crazy. And okay, Bunny's doing some open mics, so great. There, she's the Energizer Bunny. I tell you, she's playing everywhere. So, okay, let me give you a little bit of what Phil did on it. So we'll cut in here, sort of in the middle. This is one full step higher, tuned up. Same instrument, but tuned up a whole step higher. Here comes Phil. Gentle and simple as it comes in. Goes a little more, a little higher. How's the question and answer? Phil does the answer to my phrase. Later, I decided to repeat that chord progression just because what he did was so pretty. I wanted to give him another round. There we go. That was it. I hope the music came through. I didn't mute my microphone. I was so enjoying hearing Phil's playing on that. So I hope that didn't bounce back too terribly for you. But yeah, that's Phil was just such an incredible, like you say, yeah, incredible talent, and big asset for the Sailing Dreams, the whole CD. I used his musicality in so many parts of the CD. So you heard that there was a little tremolo in the end. So that's, I'm doing 3 fingers on the same string there. And originally I thought that maybe this another variation. I'd play the melody in tremolo. Recuerdos de la Alhambra is one tune that's famous for the tremolo. So you see like that. But for me, that just sounded like too much. It sounded like taking it and turning it too classical. So instead of doing the whole melody, I found that at the end, and say I think it goes. So it's got this A at 9, and then a D, and then with a middle voice moving, and then up here, and then it will end up with this fairly simple arpeggio going up, and Phil plays a little more elegant arpeggio over the top of that. So I thought that was the right place for the tremolo. So rather than doing it the whole time through, it just gives it a little lushness at the end. So it takes a lot of thought sometimes to finally come up with the way that your song is arranged and put together. So and a fun and rewarding process to do that. And I can show you another one. I wanted Captain Brian just came in from the post office bringing things. Let me see if I can find. We have a little clip of yesterday's factory as we were putting together these CDs. Let's see if I can find it. I think it's in amongst video files. Here we are.
Oh, let's just pick up a bigger one.
So, it's Eleanor and Margaret, Audrey from next door, and well, there are 10 different parts of this.
She's zooming around the assembly line here.
Of course, we have to have the CD on top. And music playing in the background, of course, is from the CD during this process. I think when you count every part, it ended up being something like 167 pieces to this game.
That 8 is the bubble wrap, yeah. 9 is the board.
So, and we have to be careful not to put some cookies in there. They're also on the table behind us. And just to show you that Captain Brian wasn't only at the camera, he was helping out too. So that's, yes, that is our factory. As we're making these, all parts made and assembled in the USA, namely right here for the last part of it. So it's been really fun. Maybe I'll see if I can call Brian over here to show you a little bit more specifically what the game is. So happy, we didn't know if it would be out in time for Christmas, so we are really happy. They got all the parts out early for us, so we are mailing them now for Christmas gifts, and getting some great response already. And Joyce is saying hi from Seattle, and yes, Rob is saying we need to get to work here. We have been working hard. And we just sent out Bunny's copy yesterday. Yes, Bunny, or today, actually, this morning. So yes, you'll be looking for it. You'll be getting your game soon. And oh yeah, that was a good idea. Tom had just suggested we should offer the game in kit form where you put it together yourself. Okay. Everyone come over here and put together your own game. I think that's a good idea, you know? It's a lot of time. We went through a lot of cookies making that game. So I think that's a great idea. And the other question about counterpoint that like what he says. No, really, what is counterpoint? So whoops, we just dropped out here. We lost connection to the camera. Hang on. Let me just give us a new camera. I think my camera went out of steam. There it is. All right. Okay, hopefully that was just the camera. It's showing low battery. If it does it again, I'll swap cameras for you. So, everyone see me again? All right. So, yeah, it's like an IKEA version of the game. That's a great idea. And Neil wants the cookies included in his game. Let's see. We'll have to think about that. We'll have to put them in a bag so you won't get just crumbles all over your game. Well, speaking of that, on all the games we're sending out now, we found we have enough little jars of sand. Each comes with a jar of sand. And this is in case you want to put your toes in the sand as you're playing the game, or for the true experience, you sprinkle half of them in your shoes, in your sandals, and sprinkle half in your bed. Then that'll be just like you're at the beach. So that this one, it looks like, that one's got a little kind of salt and pepper look. That means that comes from White Islands. That's one of the islands in your game there. And the more fine ones, those come from Fire Island. And if you get some sand with the little bits of shell in it, that comes from Pell Island. So we gathered these from the different places along the game. Hey, Captain Brian, are you there? Can you come and take a little filming of this? I want you to see if you can move the camera for us. And then I'm gonna play another tune for you in just a second. Okay.
Carry the computer or what?
Yeah, it's right here. This is the camera. And you can show them the game here. We are.
Whoopsie daisy. Here we go.
Yep. So, okay, if it's gonna knock things over, if so, we'll see. Okay, so these little shells here, these came from this island here. This one. And those are your sailboats. That's what you move around. If you land on a fish, you will gather a fish over here. And let's see, I believe that was a bluefish. Is it right, Brian?
It's a Dorado.
Oh, it's a Dorado. Okay, Brian made the fish here, so he should know. And then if you land on an anchorage here on one of the islands, we'll draw a card. And these are your experience cards. Oh, this is still in the deck. Open these up. And that will get you the different experiences or multiple choice. And if you land on either the Mayflower or Stephen Tabor schooners, you get to trade places with anyone on the board if you want. And you make your way around whichever way you decide to sail up along the coast of Maine. So I might want to take the ocean crossing here where you have the chance of landing on some whales. And or you can take the crossing around this way along the islands in Penobscot Bay, Maine. And there's some adventures. You might land on the treasure chest at Swan's Island. That's where the Swan Island Festival is. And so it was a treasure for us to find that. Oh yeah, and you find out how fast you go by spinning your point of sale.
That was a terrible spin.
Oh, sorry. There we go. And so the point of sale determines how many spaces you go. So the direction of the wind in relation to your boat. So anyway, so we just had a lot of fun putting this together, and a lot of detail in here. So I'm just really anxious to hear back from you how you're enjoying the game and how it's coming together. And as we're playing it, we know the answers to most of those multiple choice questions, right? Because we wrote them. And if you have some other ideas for questions, it says right in the game. There's a place that you can put that in for either the questions or experiences. And if you get chosen to be added to the next deck, that'll be fun for us. We'll have some new questions to add and order a new deck, and you'll get credited in that as well. So, okay, well, let's go with another tune, and let me see if we have some more questions to answer as well. I'll tell you what, there is one that I wrote, and I'll play you a little video file of this. Lady Pamela, I wrote for Pamela Hardy, who does a lot of the mailing and emailing. A lot of you know her well from that. So this is the tune I wrote for her. Along with a little visual. It's a little bit of an Irish feel, so we put some more images of That's it. That was Lady Pamela. And Stuart Duncan is playing fiddle on that. That's one of the wonderful things about living in Nashville, is that, when I decided, this tune can use a little fiddle player, I call like one of the best fiddle players in the world, who's right here. And said, hey, can you come over to the studio this afternoon? And he says, sure. And stops by and just plays this wonderful part. on that. So just one of the reasons I moved to Nashville. It's just such a joy to have these great players all around, and they're just great inspiration to be around folks like Stuart Duncan, Phil Keggy, Tommy Emmanuel comes by to parties here every now and then. Great player. So I did that tune in Dad Gad tuning because I wanted it to sound like an old English tune or an Irish tune, and so I thought this tuning would work. D-A-D, G-A-D, and then that worked pretty well for it, and kind of gives it that feel, and then some extra low bass strings on the harp guitar. So I also used this tune when I wrote a song for the winner of the last contest, and that was Frank. And he said he wanted it. I've told you about this before, but in case you missed it, that was a long time ago. He said he wanted it about how he and his wife would look forward to the hot air balloons taking off, and he asked if I could write it in Dad Gad tuning, and so I thought about that. So I was on the sailboat and kind of playing around with this tuning. I said, well, maybe instead of writing in the key of D, which is normal, because what you normally play is a D shape here. A lot of open strings just fall right into place on that. Just doing simple one finger chords, But so here I thought I would write it in A instead of D. I'm just kind of walking down like this. And that was kind of the rhythm of the boat. The boat was kind of going back and forth, kind of the same rhythm. So I just took that. So in that section, I had a bunch of fancy kind of Phil Keggy style runs in it, and Brian listened to it and said, it kind of takes away a little bit from the feel of it. So I simplified it to just one little run there, and I think it's nicer, just more simple. And then it goes after repeating, moves to this section. And then it goes into super treble part, and then just kind of fades away. So that was the concept for Let Loose and Fly, and then took it and orchestrated it and added drums and tablas and I think 3 different ethnic drums to it, and some of Phil's runs in there. So we had a lot of fun with that one by the time that was finished up. And yeah, I'll do a music video. Maybe play it for you next week if you like. Other thing I was thinking about next week maybe is if you'd like to play the game. I wonder if there's a way we can play the game together online where you can take a turn. Brian and I haven't quite figured that out how we can spin the spinner for you. So if you're interested in playing the game, let me know. But part of the whole reason of this game is to get away from the computer. That's the only thing that doesn't really work. So the idea is you don't use your computer at all for this game. You're away from it. You're away from plastic parts. Everything that was possible we made out of wood or cardboard. And so we're trying to be very tactile with this sailing game. So I'm not sure if we can do a quasi game where it includes you, from across the airwaves. But let me know if you think that would work. We can give it a try if you think so. So, TJ saying hi from Oklahoma. Nice to see you again. And Pam from San Diego. Yeah, I played her birthday party many, many years ago. So, should we say that many years ago? All right. And well, there's another idea. Larry says he's in my town at the moment, so maybe we can get a bunch of us together here and we'll play the game. Okay, so let me know if you're in Nashville. That's where I'll be next week, and come by and we'll play. And so, okay, there's some thoughts. All right, well, I guess I'm going to head off because I'm on dinner making preparation today. So I'll have to fix something nice for Captain Brian. All right, well, so long. We'll see you next week, and I'll give you another update. Hope some of you are in the drawing for the song written for you. Be thinking of what you might want, or if you want it written for your significant other, or about something specific like Frank did. So, okay, see you next week. Bye.